Did you ever take a drive to perfection where the graboids go and people run? Do you see the shriekers running past? Can you feel the seismos or ass blasts? Were you ever afraid of the ground? Did it ever occur to you look down? Have you ever heard of Mixed Master? Do you know a bird gummer? Shake up the graboid guts. Shake up, let's throw pipe bombs. Shake up the graboid guts. Shake up, we don't need guns.
Yes! Nice. That was wonderful.
So, hey, everybody. Welcome to We Have Tremors. I am your host, Levi, and
I am Stevie Wildcard.
And I'm Anthony.
And what we do every week here is we come together and we have giant worms that come out of the ground, and we take ropes and we saddle them, and then when they burst out shriekers, and we grab them, and then we take our issues and we shove them inside the shriekers, and then they throw up more issues all over the place, and we go like, hey, issues, you turn into an ass blaster, and then we'll just blow you up, and we do that every single week.
Love it.
I have been waiting to do that forever.
So for those of you not familiar with our show, what Levi's doing is doing a very well done parody of how we start our show every once in a while, every time. We do it every single time.
And for a secondary layer, knows the lyrics to the song that is in our intro that we wrote. So, I mean, that's pretty impressive.
That was awesome, Levi. It was really cool. Not many people would know that song as a whole to begin with. Not only do you know it, but you created a parody from it. It's amazing. Impressive.
Like I said, I was really nervous about it. I've been working on it for like the last 2 hours.
It was wonderful. Awesome. It was absolutely fantastic. I was like the most organic smile the entire time.
I could tell you're just little like, oh, this, I know this.
This song? I was there when it was recorded because I did it, Steve.
I know, because I put it in my Tremors movie. It's one of my favorite scenes. So anyway, this is Talking Tremors, and we have issues combined, so we're going to call it We Have Tremors because it's a wonderful name. Wonderful. I am your host, Levi Dylan Burzloff Flut, and you guys can actually introduce yourselves if you would like to.
Anthony.
Okay, I'm Anthony. I'm one of the hosts of We Have Issues podcast, a podcast in which we talk about various life issues that, get in the way of our making comic books together. So Steven and I are best friends. We've been making comic books for a million years, since we've been friends for a billion years. Steven, who are you and what do you do?
I am Steven, aka self-appointed Stevie Wildcard. The second half of We Have Issues, I illustrate and work on all the comics with this beautiful man over here. We've been best friends since like high school. Like he said, has worked on and off on comics for over, it's like 20 years now, about, give or take. So yeah, we've been friends for a very long time and doing our best to make something with all the efforts we've put in over the years, basically. So,
and I just love them. That's basically it. And what I am is actually a really, really bad friend, because Anthony has been sharing the fuck out of We Have Issues for the last 3 years. And then I've been like, I'll share button that stuff too, but I didn't listen to a single fucking episode.
It happens. It happens a lot. It's so hard.
No, be harder on me for this, okay?
Never.
Because I go, my Facebook memories pop up all the time, and it is once a week I get one, and it's like, oh, you shared this like 3 years ago.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
I've seen some of those. It's really funny. Like, it's been really funny for me to experience that, because like I remember when you would share things, because I've been basically off of Facebook in general for a long time, but like I'd still go on there and share links, and I'd see you share them, and you were one of the very few people who would share like that.
It's Levi and my Aunt Lori. Like,
that's what it was. It was Levi and Aunt Lori. So I was like, that's what Facebook is Levi and Aunt Lori holding down the fort for us, and we're gonna go over here on Twitter and like do our best. But yeah, no, I don't know. I don't I can't get that hard on you for it because I do that myself. I know how difficult it is. Like even if it's something that's like I know is going to be amazing. Like Steven has tried to get me into Deer Hunter for the past like 10 years, and I'm just like, I've listened to them, I've gone to see them with him, and they're amazing. It was one of the greatest like live music experiences of my life. Have I gone through and listened to their whole discography the way I should and appreciate it? No, of course not, because I'm terrible. And I don't have time in my life. I need someone to I need Jigsaw. I need like the Saw movie situation where like I get like Kevin McAllister into a room and just like trapped with good art, you know.
It's true. I get
this is beautiful. Experience it.
It took me like what 12 years, 15 years to watch Community, or something like that. So I mean, I eventually came around.
Yeah.
And you probably haven't watched Harmontown either, you bastard. Like, come on.
Yeah, I haven't. I know I haven't.
No, I haven't actually finished Harmontown. We're talking about having way too many episodes. I hit about episode 180 on Harmontown, and then I slowly started to slide out. And I'm like, I need to fucking finish that. I haven't got it.
I'm jealous because like I've always felt that with Harmontown that was sort of like the Good Will Hunting ending, like, you know, where like he's just waiting for Will to not be there when he knocks on the door one day because he's moved on, he's evolved, he no longer needs his. He no longer needs that town and those people. Me on the other hand, I rode that town. I rode that bus into the hell. I was just like, here we go, we're going down together, Dan Harmon. Then he abandoned us, and I was like, all right. And I also love you too. Still fine. Okay.
I had Dan tell me on Twitter. It was like, oh, you're like my like dad. He's like, the only way we grow past our fathers is when we don't need them anymore. And I was like, okay, fine. I'm gonna like. Whoops.
I mean, the best parents work toward their own obsolescence, right? Like you have to try to like wean people off. But that's why I was like, it was just like an enjoyable thing. We're dating, like Harmontown. Don't make me have real relationships with real people. Stop it. This is my everything. But yeah, that's so then, you know, that abandoned, you know, that quit. I was like, I need my own Harmontown. How do I do it? And I was like, Steven, be my friend. And you know, so we're making a colony now. It's what we do.
Your cultony. I love your cultony. I'm happy to be a part of the cultony. I've been waiting to wear this shirt. I've been saving it up, baby.
You have another one on the way. For some reason, it's just stuck in transit. I've been watching it. So you have a package on the way from We Have Issues. So
yes, I need that scrapbook. I'm just
the scrapbook's in there. There's a few the things you ordered, plus there may or may not be a Game Dragon shirt in there. So
I know, because Anthony just had to be like that, the little bastard.
Steven
told you not to.
It was amazing. Yeah.
I made an exception for you and Chris because I was like, Levi and Chris are like two of the biggest supporters of the podcast and like us, and they're just awesome friends. So we had to send the Game Dragon shirts afterthought.
Like I said, that's where the not watching you sooner was like, man, I would have been those Kickstarters. Like I would fucking throw money at you. That's where Stakeout. I'm gonna be a producer because I'm like, oh my god, just take it all and make this.
I'm excited for that.
So anyway, we're talking about everything but Tremors. Well, this is called the Mentioning Tremors episode because we have the biggest Tremors expert on this show, and it's not me, guys. I found this out, and it's not Anthony. Guess what?
Oh no,
we have Stephen El Blanco Todd down here, who is apparently one of the biggest Tremors experts I've ever heard of in my life. Like I heard that last 5 minutes of that episode, and you know, like. Whew, you were so right about Tremors 3, you know, with the mercury plated graboids and the lasers, like, and then Tremors 5, graboids in the hood, like, I just masterpiece, man. I you know, so you know, take us through that, Stephen.
So yeah, so when I was in school, I remember I was gonna like, oh, Stephen, you need to push to become a lawyer, you need to push to become a doctor. I'm like, no. I need to study the biology and story of the graboid from the Tremors movies, because this is the most important thing on the planet. So that is why I actually have not only my bachelor's, master's, but also my doctorate in graboid information.
Wow. So I mean, what's the like? Just let's keep it small. You know, what is a graboid, Stephen?
So graboids, believe it or not, are actually creatures that were wished into existence many, many, many years ago. So sometime after, you know, the Ice Age, there was these like mystical balls, and people gathered 7 of them together, and they summoned a dragon. And the first wish they decided to make was, hey, human beings suck. We want some ground dwelling, monstrous, mercury plated, sometimes they go into the hood graboids to just exist on this planet now. So their creation was actually birthed from Shenron, and hence the long, worm-like dragon body.
See,
He had created in his image.
When you said wish, I created in his image. When you said wish, my first thought was that it was just like some Neanderthal, like trying to make a wish, like wanting a bigger penis. It was just like,
giant worm.
I wish for giant worm. And the wish master was like, well, like, be careful what you wish for. Blah, graboids everywhere. 8 woolly mammoths to extinction. Everyone says, oh no, the planet warmed and the mammoths went. No, graboids. That is actually how the early graboids evolved to such tremendous sizes. It wasn't the oxygen in the air or anything like that. The game and the fauna, the megafauna, were just so large that it like satiated these giant worms over the course of a millennia. And as they continued to grow and exist throughout the times, they basically, they're responsible for a lot of the great collapses of civilizations. Atlantis was completely submerged and sunk. The Great Fire is in Alexandria, I believe. The library torched by graboids. These creatures are actually responsible for a majority of our historic lore as humans. So,
wow, how have I not had you on this podcast before? Wow. I have this whole book about tremors here, and not once did they mention that.
Yeah, we there's a lot of disagreement with us tremheads. That's what we call ourselves. When we write these books, we basically like to throw people off the scent, because if people knew that graboids are the reason for basically every horrific thing that's ever happened, it wouldn't be a fun movie to watch anymore, right? Because it's horrifying. Our reality.
You realize that Tremors is a documentary you're put off it forever and spiraling into it like an endless pit of existential despair.
It's just what it is, man. And even you even go to Norse mythology with Fenrir and swallowing, and all that. That's a graboid. It's not a wolf. It's the graboid shifts and moves in pack formation like a wolf. The way that the ancient Vikings perceived these creatures in the snow
there's Jorgamundr, the giant, the great snake.
Exactly.
Yes.
The leader of all of them, the king graboid, if you will. It's very apparent that I know everything about Tremors. Is it or is it not?
I want to keep this charade up, but also
charade. He didn't go to 8 years of Tremor school to be called Mr. Tremor. Okay,
it's Dr. Tremor the Third.
Dr. Tremor.
Like my father before me, great studier of tremor and graboid information. My dad fell into some crack, but I kept the family dream going. And
it's a crack in the earth. He fell into a crack.
He got obsessed with that focus. It's just, it kind of does it to you when you study these things for an extended period of time. But yeah, I obviously know jack shit about tremors.
Like I said, there's part of me, as I was writing these, I was like, man, I want to keep this up, but also man, we could really go all the way off the rails if we did this.
And that's what I do to Anthony every week. You should see how much he has to edit. I just derail that train all the time.
Well, to this point then, Steven, what's your favorite Tremors movie?
Mm-hmm. So, I've never seen a Tremors movie, but I'm gonna.
I know, but no, you have. You watched the documentary. What's your favorite one?
My favorite one is the one that stars Jason Momoa. It's my favorite one because, you think he's the big badass. He's this guy that's I'm gonna kill these graboids. He dies in the first act, Deep Blue Sea style. It's crazy. And then you got McLovin from freaking Superbad coming in, and he's the hero of this movie. Wild. And this is my favorite one because you never expect McLovin to be able to take out as many graboids and ass blasters as he did.
You know the worst part about that? Does that actually sound like a legitimately good movie?
It actually like a little bit does, like, because like I would definitely watch it. Like
Jason doesn't want to watch that turn of Jason Momoa like getting eaten.
Yeah,
like, we gotta find a way to get these
Graboids
out of here.
Wow, Jason. Oh no, guys.
What's up, guys? I don't move a lot. I don't make the earth vibrate, so they don't recognize my existence.
That would be great. Because I love the turn of just like Christopher Mintz-Plasse being like, "Look, everybody, you know, like I know what you're thinking, but we got to work together here to like stop the Graboids. Like it's a whole thing. We just saw Jason die. You know, come on." People.
And Jonah Hill just pops. He's like, "No, that's a dumb fucking idea for a dumb," just like popping off on him.
And then Jonah gets eaten.
And then Jonah gets eaten. And Michael Cera's is like, "Oh no," just sipping a Capri Sun. You know, that's why it's my favorite Tremors, though. Tremors, 14. It's the best one.
Chef's kiss. Okay, we can't keep this up. So, okay, wow. Now
For all three of you still watching, get ready for some real Tremors information here from Levi.
I have different off-rail segments as we go. We'll come back to Steven's expert knowledge later on in the questioning. But Anthony, what's your least favorite Tremors movie?
Least favorite? Oh gosh, that's a really good question. Probably 7. Probably 7. The last one was terrible. It was probably the worst one there is. Like, I think that the rest of them all have like redeeming qualities and like little things that I love about them. 7, I was just like, oh, I don't like anything about this. I really didn't enjoy watching it at all.
And it's not just because of the Burt Gummer thing that happened.
No, I don't even care. No, honestly, I
know you hate Burt Gummer. Like,
yeah, well, like to qualify, like I don't hate Burt Gummer. No, that's not fair.
No, actually, you make a great point about it, and it's one that I always think of. And you actually made this a long time ago when you got asked, like, what would you do with Tremors? And you were like, oh, I don't care about Burt Gummer. We move away from that. And it's like, oh, yeah, no, like, I've always thought that Burt Gummer's not my favorite character. So
no, I like Burt Gummer. I like what they did with him for a while. I like the idea of him, but I feel like they leaned too heavily on him, and they were kind of just, he was a crutch of the series rather than letting the series be a fun narrative to follow. It's just not for me. But yeah, it had nothing to do with that. I would have, not because I dislike Burt Gummer, but I probably would have killed Burt Gummer way earlier in the series if I were to keep it in that same world, But no, that's not why. I would have preferred, given what they were doing with the series, they should have just had Burt Gummer live forever. That's what it would have made more sense, given in the world as they were developing it, not the world that I'd like to see as Tremors, but like as they were developing it, it would have made more sense just to keep Burt, as like the old man who like was wizened and just like, oh, I learned not to chase that white whale or whatever, like as you go. But nah, they killed it. It was stupid.
Yeah, but you just hated 7 just in general. Like that's your.
Yeah, I didn't find any of it fun or enjoyable. I didn't like. I thought the effects were weird in a way that like even like Styx like had better effects. I thought like I don't know, like it was kind of weird. Like there were some moments in it where I was like, I don't like this. I wasn't a fan of any of it. I didn't like the story. I didn't like what they did with Burr. Yeah, just the whole thing. I didn't think it had to exist. I really didn't like the cast. Like the supporting cast was not great, and the characters.
So Steven knows the 7th movie is Tremors on an Island, basically. And it's got Richard Brake in it. And I feel like Richard Brake ends up being wasted. I love him as an actor. And he's a great character. And then fucking they kill him off. And you're like, man, that's a bad guy you keep around or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the death of Burt Gummer movie, but you don't get any of that in it. And it's just it's a combo of like The Greatest Game, which is the hunting people movie, plus Jurassic Park and Predator. It's just all these other better movies smashed together. There's a guy that gets eaten in a toilet.
Oh, like, really? So they just straight up and
it's bad to just like it is. I could get into like worse about it, but he gets eaten in a toilet in the middle of a rainstorm, which doesn't make sense for creatures that hunt by sound. They can't hear anything.
All the rain is creating like little sonic.
I don't know. Then again, Daredevil kind of suggested otherwise with that, as if like the spattering of rain.
I can completely see your face.
I say can finally see your face in the rain because of all of the. Not that there's much sense to that, but there is.
Don't qualify it. Don't you dare. But a guy gets eaten in a toilet, which I think is a great metaphor of it, and it's just it's shit. Oh yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. It's shit.
It was shit.
Yeah.
Actually, okay, so that's we started talking about Tremors. So I wanted to say here to the people watching that it's like, so you think like Anthony and Steven are just here just because I'm weird, which I am as a qualifier. But this has actually been happening for like 2 years now. I went back and I looked, Anthony, and April of 2022 was the first time I asked you to be on this show. Mm-hmm. And you were telling people, you're like, oh, I'm going to be on a Tremors podcast. Yep. And then I didn't do shit. And I left you hang. And I'm sorry. And
fine.
No, it's not. This is Levi's lament corner. We allow this.
Let him lament, Anthony.
I don't forgive you. I can take it back.
Lament. But I wanted to get into, so how the fuck did we all meet here? Like how did this come together? Like,
but eventually, I mean, Harmontown was born on a Thursday. No, I don't know. My introduction to you was via Harmontown, where I was watching Harmontown or listening to Harmontown, and I heard you being meeting Dan and all of that stuff, and I was like, oh, this is an interesting person, just like everyone else who they ever bring up on stage in Harmontown. I was like, this is an interesting. And then it was like, oh, you were on again at some point. But then it was just, I remember I was in the Harmontown subreddit, and then I would see you there occasionally, and then I was invited into the Harmontown Facebook group after I made. I drew these Simpsons caricatures, Simpsons versions of the Harmontown group, and I put them on T-shirts, and I showed them on the subreddit, and then people liked them, and then Earthshine Jane from Harmontown invited me over to the Facebook, and that's when I saw more people, and I kind of interacted with you more there, and yeah. Okay. So then that's how it started as far as I remember, and then from there it was just Twitter. I've been on Twitter forever. So
all right, Steven, my question is, what was it like to get daily notifications that I was commenting on your shit?
It was great though. It was, and I think especially when you were watching our show, when you really started watching it, it was so funny to see you reach different points of the saga. I was like, oh, we could tell where you were because of just what was being commented or said or everything. It was pretty awesome, I have to admit.
Nice. I felt it was, like you said, that was my best way of giving back, because I fucked up so much that I was like, I did give you the love.
It's so interesting because we have so many episodes now, and every once in a while someone will start going through them, and which is really cool. It's a really fun, weird experience for us, but when you were going through and you're commenting on almost every episode basically, and I was just like, oh my god. But what's fun is today you were commenting on some Patreon stuff, and I was like, oh, I forgot that existed, and that's always fun because it's just anything, you see Facebook memories or any memories that these apps show you, and you're like, oh yeah, that happened in my life. So it's just kind of fun to get that weird retrospective, oh yeah, we made those jokes. I did think of that movie way back then, so it was fun to,
that Beauty and the Beast one with the wardrobe that comes to life. It's I don't want to be people. It got me good.
That should have been on our actual show. That was pretty fun.
Yes, it should have. Now you're reminded. Bring it back up again. Just like I want to hear your Pixar lore. Now that you got Stevie on for an episode, I need to hear Anthony's Pixar theories with Steven's.
That's true. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I'll just add alternatives, and
we'll talk more about that. We should. I always want to. You can see in random episodes, I'm just but about this Pixar thing that I've been thinking about. It's oh, we don't have time. We don't have time to get to that. Okay, fine.
He's sinks the hook in the water with the bait on it. I'm just so anyway, sorry, blasted.
That is the thing I love about your show, and I'm just this is my ad for We Have Issues, which is the whole episode of this. But just hearing your friendship and the progression, I have to blame you guys for the fact that I do a live show every week now, because I'm well, fuck, they come in and they do one every week. Hell, Anthony, you're the reason I did that trailer,
which is awesome.
That
was really cool to see.
You're welcome, or I guess. But that was no, because you were oh, you got to put it out on my birthday. It's I can't, but I'll do a trailer, and It was literally Monday, and I was like, I haven't done this. I need to fucking do this. And I sat down for 4 or 5 hours almost, just like cranking that fucker.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, nice. When's it coming out?
It says it at the beginning, January 31st. That's when I got one more scene to film this weekend. I got the boardroom scene to film this weekend. But on that note, okay. I had your shirt in it, which is a big part of the beginning. But then what did it feel like actually seeing that in association with Ostrich Colony Comics come up? That little bit of like,
that was really funny. I didn't
Connected
expect...
universe lore.
Yeah. I was like, we did it. Look at us go. No, that was really cool. I didn't expect that.
I'll make sure you get a nice producer credit too. And that's just, who cares?
I'm gonna be on I'm all over IMDb now. That's
Lafusey, isn't he responding? No, is anything Lafusey? Like
Anthony's in the new Fast and Furious. Whoa, I didn't know this.
It keeps happening. They keep putting him in
Fast and the Furious 15, Graboids on Mars.
Dude, how have they not raced the Graboids yet? Like
how have they not?
Okay, Steven, by the third movie, you think first of all they domesticate at least one of these things.
Well, they're mercury plated by this point. So
yeah, I mean, like, how do you not meet the one that's the Gizmo Graboid? Like, you need the Gizmo Graboid that you become friends with, and then you race on that one, and you like, come on.
My favorite thing though in Tremors like 4 was when the Graboid was Tokyo drifting. Like he was like, because like if a Graboid spins really fast, it can kind of skid. And it's just a wonderful thing. And then like,
yeah, but by the 7th movie, they learned that if you Tokyo drift too fast, 88 miles an hour, you go through time, and that's
exactly. And then you go back.
Graboids.
Yep.
Graboids ate Hitler. That was
exactly.
We've all been there. Yep.
Swallowed them whole.
That does happen. Tremors 3. Well, you haven't watched the TV show, Anthony. That's where your knowledge is lacking here. But the El Blanco Graboid does become like a pet of the town, in a sense. Like, I'm not even like, I have a personal theory because like El Blanco is always like tunneling underneath the town. I'm not joking. Like, he's tunneling under the town all the time, and he never stops to eat the townspeople. And I have this theory that it's like because he's learned that the townspeople kind of like bring him food because he eats tourists. Like, he'll eat the fuck out of any tourist, but he won't eat the actual people that live there because of being able to sense their heartbeats and seismos and stuff like that. And there was actually a plot that they wanted to do in Tremors, the series, where El Blanco gets sick and Bert is literally singing lullabies to him or to them to make them feel like better. Like, just...
Oh my gosh, I need to watch it. I mean, I have it. I have the whole collection, so I need to watch it.
I know you do, and that's where maybe the TV, you'll probably hate the TV series as much as you do the other ones, but TV series is one of my favorites in terms of that. So they do. There is a Gizmo Graboid eventually.
That's really funny.
And I have to say, Steven, your plot point for Tremors 2, where the Tremors take revenge, was I was like, I love Tremors 2, but that's almost better. Like,
just full-fledged like Empire Strikes Back Tremors movie, or they just Infinity War Tremors movie, like the snap is their snap,
Well, because the Shriekers come and then they reproduce, so there could have been millions of them, and they're like, no, you took our people. We're coming back for you now.
We're taking all of you.
Okay.
I would make Bert a Tremor. Is that his name, Bert?
Mm-hmm. He's a were-tremor.
Oh,
he's a were-tremor. Whenever the moon is full.
He gets eaten by one at one point, and he escapes. Like, he lives, and then eventually they bring it back where he has a sickness because of this, and which was like, it was a little annoying. I was like, okay, at least they're trying, but I was like, I don't love it, but that would have been really funny if it was like, oh, he has some sort of enzyme in him now that like changes his body over time because of this if he consumes a certain amount of food.
Bert is El Blanco confirmed.
Yeah,
no joke. I was just on a podcast yesterday, and I've been listening to these guys on the Horrific podcast, and there's this one dude, Chris, and he has these Chris's Crazy Theories segment, and I'm not fucking joking, that 2 of his theories for Tremors 6 and then 7 are, Bert got eaten, so now he's turning into a Graboid. Grabertoid, as he calls it. So
Grabertoid.
It's
me, your father, Grabertoid.
What's amazing, Steven, is that you know nothing about Tremors and you're getting so close to like
Hello.
Hi.
Hey.
You told me to come bust in at half an hour.
Yeah,
It's half an hour.
I thought you would like to meet these guys.
Hi.
Hey, it's nice to meet you.
This is my director / wife.
It's nice to see you and meet you.
Same.
Can you introduce yourself? Who are you?
Yeah, I'm Caitlin.
Hi.
I'm Levi's wife and co-producer and director and all of the things. I've heard so much about you guys in the last
6 months.
6 months?
8 months.
We apologize. We apologize for everything. We're so
literally
sorry.
know every single thing about you. I think.
Oh. Uh-oh.
I
I apologize
would come
again.
every day and be like, "Oh, here's a new thing I learned about Anthony and Steven," and she's like, "I'm not listening to this show." I have to be like,
What you're saying, like what you're talking about. So it's like
Listen.
and I've now met you. So
Oh.
Well, it was a pleasure. It's a pleasure to meet you. My
Yeah.
wife was gonna pop in tonight as well, but she is not feeling well. So
Mine too. Mine is in Canada, also feeling not great.
my wife goes to another school.
My wife is in the school.
"No, she got eaten. She got eaten by
Okay,
Graboids."
but-
The whole thing.
I do have one question.
Ooh,
Who came up with Graboids in the hood?
that was
That-
Anthony. That was actually Anthony. The
Oh,
Leprechaun movie series may have had some.
Yeah,
something
it was
to do
definitely.
with
I was
that.
going off the Leprechaun series. I thought it would be funny.
But
I love
Graboids.
it. I love it. 100%. I'm behind you. Let's go.
I have a script for that. Actually, that's a question.
What?
For later, but I have a script for that. Like that's. Oh yeah.
No.
funny.
Yeah, no, it's Shriekers in the Hood with these guys, Big Z and Torn, and then they
That's
have
so
to work with the cops who actually arrested them earlier
Oh,
in
the
the
odds
week.
of that?
Kind of
I'm
remember.
not joking. It's one of my
I
favorites.
forgot about that. I do actually kind of remember you. I
Yeah.
remember that now.
Big Z and Torn.
Well, let's get on that because I
Okay.
think let's do that.
She listened to you guys today. I had to play the episode that
Oh.
your today episode to like,
Okay.
oh hey, they're talking about me, and she like
Oh, yeah.
right before we got home, she's like, oh, I kind of get why you like listening to these two. Like,
Aw, well,
Even there.
thank you.
Made me laugh a couple different times, and I only listened. So
We
Yeah.
try. I will say, like earlier on, it was much easier, but like work has been so aggressively painful lately. So like, and we record at night. So like, I've been that like half energy. So I'm not as like tonight. I'm doing pretty good. I had a crown in Coke Zero. So I'm feeling
That's
a
what
little.
this is. I
Yes.
figured. I knew it. I could sense it. I could sense it. It's
I
so
took
funny.
the edge off.
I'll have an olive on that. Why not?
Oh, I
I
love
under-
it.
no, I understand. I have a soul crushing job
Mm.
as well, and I find that I just can't. I don't have energy to do anything. I get
Mhm.
energy from this one. I don't know where you get it from, but
I don't know either.
it's literally the only reason we get some stuff done sometimes.
I do. I drag her out to go filming. She's like, "Okay, you got to give me like a week's notice." And then I'll do it.
Yeah.
I need to put myself in the headspace
Yeah.
a week ahead. I get that. So any social setting when someone springs one on me, I'm like, 1 to 2 week is what I prefer, like a heads up. And then I'm still gonna be like, hey, it's okay if you don't want to get together tonight. That morning,
You
I'm
try
gonna
to get
shoot
out of it
that
at all
text.
costs. Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm down to go, but
Yeah, it's not that I'm trying to get out of this, but I'm just saying if you don't want to.
But yeah, so I get it. So thank you.
You're welcome.
I wanted you to meet these
I
two.
did. I
So-
really wanted to meet you guys
Oh.
too. You
Aw,
guys are
thank you so much. It was awesome to meet you.
Yeah, you guys are cool,
Yeah.
and I hear a lot about you. And like I said, I like to put faces with names. So
Well,
gotcha.
Anthony Steven.
Stevie, gotcha. Stevie
Well,
wild
it's-
card.
yes.
Okay, that's
Thor and Loki.
Yeah.
Oh,
Which one am I?
You're Thor, Abby.
I figured that had to be.
Toby Kebbell, Chris Hemsworth.
Ooh,
Oh,
Chris Hamsworth, because
You're right about
Like you're major Toby Kebbell. Right? Like I get
you
so
are not
much.
wrong about.
I
Wow,
know.
now you said that, I'm
I
like, I
fucking
can't look at
love
it.
Toby Kebbell
Wow.
too. So.
Okay, cool.
Wait, Toby Kebbell, Black Mirror guy.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Black Mirror, Rock and Rolla.
Yeah.
He's Koba in Planet of the Apes. He does the
Right,
mocap
right.
voice for that.
Yeah, it's a high compliment.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
I do like that guy.
I'm gonna go.
Yeah,
I really
okay.
enjoyed you guys. Love you.
you have a
Have fun.
wonderful evening.
I can hear you from downstairs.
We're on surround sound.
Is that what it
Dolby
is?
5.1.
She was making fun of me practicing the song earlier. She's like,
It was excellent, though.
outside.
It's gonna be in my head for the next 12 weeks. It's fine. Fine. Bye, guys.
Bye. Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Bye.
That's funny.
I don't know what to keep saying.
You're welcome.
Perfect.
I love you, Tina. I know you can't hear me, but I love you. Sorry. You have headphones on, so I know it doesn't-
she's watching what the kids call a hospital show. My wife. So you're gonna think it's Grey's Anatomy, but my wife has cleared Grey's Anatomy forever ago. She watches now what is called Chicago Med, and she's on like season 5 or 6 of Chicago Med. So yeah, she loves hospital drama. She watched all of House, she watched all of Grey's Anatomy, and then she watched all of the sub-series around those series because they had their own little, there's like a Station 19 firefighting show that corresponds to Grey. She's watched all of it. That's like her jam. So
yeah, Graboids in the hospital. I've seen that one.
Yep. Yes. And then how they have to cure it. Like Dr. House is like, well, did you check his ass for graboids? And then they're like, oh my God, we did check his ass for graboids. And then he popped a couple of Vicodin, and sure as shit, there was a fucking ass blaster in there.
They always think it's lupus, but it's ass blasters.
It's not lupus. Turns out it was ass blasters. Season 10 of House was wild. I kind of like this lore that I don't know anything about shows and just make up my own lore for every show.
It's kind of the best,
it's
though.
almost better.
We should just make a Steven verse like just segment of our show where we talk, like, I'm just like, because I always want to talk about shows. I'm like, oh, Steven, have you seen this? No, I know you haven't seen this crap, but we can't really talk about this, but we can, as long as you just make it up as you go.
I just from here on, from henceforth, when anytime I'm on a podcast and someone just asks me because I'm the expert of something, I'm just gonna completely pretend to be the expert on said thing.
Yeah,
you do an amazing job of it.
Yeah, and to be fair, we've asked so many people to do that on our show.
Yeah, just be the expert.
By the way, I will say, Levi, I mean, it's your show. You're free to write whatever you want, wherever you want. But I have noticed that we get the most dislikes when I write like something expert in the title. Because everyone assumes that we're being sincere, and I'm like, oh no, Rebecca wasn't actually a zombie expert because zombies aren't real, and that doesn't mean anything. Oh no, you know, like, oh.
Which I love that episode. Like, I really want to see zombies with erections in movies.
Erections
Like that, and zombies going down on people.
Fall.
The undead is rising in more ways than one.
Like, she convinced me. Like, I was like, zombie erotica. Okay, yeah, okay, that's check. It's a new thing to think about now.
This better not awaken anything in me.
I mean, I'm gonna be real. Everyone knows, like 13 Ghosts. I was mostly on board with what that lady ghost was putting down. I was like, yeah, I think I would with a zombie. I mean, all this math checks because she's a ghost, but she looks like a zombie, and I'm all about it. So
you could split me in half anytime, baby.
Yeah, anytime.
I wasn't using my brain in this moment anyway. Feel free.
If Matthew Lillard is there too to like watch and like kind of guide me as I'm like pursuing this, part of my kink verse, then like that's just, he'll be my Sherpa on the mountain of zombiness,
Is it like cheating on someone if like the thing you're cheating on them with is dead?
Zombies are dead. I'm still gonna say it is a conscience being of some sort.
No, I think even if it's not conscious, I think it's still cheating. I would say.
I think if I slept with a raccoon, it would also be cheating.
I think so too.
Just in a way that's gross more so than I'm like not as mad about the cheating as I am. Why are you with a raccoon right now?
Why did you? But then
what does that raccoon have that I don't?
But that's what I was gonna say is you can't be a raccoon, so it almost feels a little better,
Yeah.
Like there's something. Yeah. If it's like a humanoid shaped creature, it'd be like, oh man, I could have done that in some way.
I think that's why Alien's completely off the table. I mean, like obviously they're just like, better humans, basically. Maybe worse, possibly worse, just because they have tech.
Depending on your kink.
But yes, zombies is cheating.
Yeah,
we declare it. I declare cheating.
I do declare. I didn't say I declared it.
Oh, I love The Office.
It's playing downstairs right now, so to my head.
That's what we
So-
go to sleep. We go to sleep to The Office or Brooklyn Nine-Nine. That's our nighttime show.
Oh,
Yeah, Steven and I every single night.
Every night we snuggle up. No,
I'm just waiting for Anthony to marry you, and then you and Tina and Anthony are all living together in the same house.
we
Atlas
should
is
just.
playing-
Tina and I keep pitching it, and Steven's not on board.
I am not in that energy wave. But if I mean, I feel like if the economy keeps going the way it's going, we're gonna have to start marrying more people.
That's
Like,
right.
we need more incomes in every household. Every household needs at
That's
least
fair.
5 incomes. So I mean, let's just all start having giant like marriages. Like,
Well, you can just live in the house with each other. You don't have to.
no, you have to get
No,
married.
no,
This
no,
is
you have
this
the
is the
human
rules.
centipede.
It's the human centipede,
The human graboid.
the human graboid, mercury plated.
So, Anthony, when did you first watch Tremors? Sorry.
I first watched Tremors as a small child on TV. I remember it was on all the time, and I would watch it all the time. Like it was just on TV. That's when I would watch it.
Have you shown Atlas Tremors yet?
Yeah, we watched the first one together, and he was a little scared at first, and then he thought it was kind of cool, but then also kind of boring because it wasn't animated, and he was really into just animated stuff at the time, and I was like, oh, okay, fine. But you know, he'll watch it again eventually.
So, Steven, who's your favorite character in the Tremors verse?
Well, obviously it's Mitch McCockran. He's played by the ghost of Burt Reynolds. It was made after, he had passed, but like in spirit, well, it's not a ghost, it's basically AI generated, and it's, people have their opinions, but Mitch McCockran is one of the greatest characters of the Tremor franchise because he knew how to balance badassery but kindness, like I remember when he took his shotgun and blasted the graboid, right? And it fell and it was breathing hoarse. And he just like petted its head and he's like, there, old girl. Just because you be eating people doesn't mean you don't deserve a proper burial in these parts of the desert. And this dude like digs for hours to bury this graboid, which is so silly because I mean it's already mostly buried anyway. He actually dug it up.
He dug a different hole.
He dug a different hole and then had to dig that one up. And then he had to get all these trucks in to move the sand out. It was a whole thing. Like it was a lot, but I feel like that's why he's the best character in the Tremors franchise, because who else is going to bury the creature that was trying to kill you, with such an honorable funeral? Like it was
That was
wonderful.
beautiful. I remember that scene. I
Mhm.
cried a little, like I thought,
Mitch
hey, why
McCockran's
are
the
you
goat.
digging? They're gonna eat you, because you're digging. There's more graboids out there.
There's
but,
more, yeah, and you're sending shockwaves into the ground, but no, he wanted to risk it just to honor that graboid. So power to Mitch, Wish they would have continued his story in Tremor 7, but obviously they had something for Bert and they wanted to kill him, so
No.
Mitch McCockran, long may he live.
Mitch McCockran,
We'll bring him back in Tremors 8, baby.
the graboid whisperer.
Jesus Christ.
My favorite
I
one.
I have so many of these questions, and these are just like, I thank you so much, Steven. This is beautiful.
That's the only thing I could do.
Anthony, who's your least favorite character in all of the Tremors movies?
You're gonna hate me. It's Mitch McCockran is the thing.
You
can't
son
stand
of a
him.
bitch!
Fuck!
The graboid whisperer?
I couldn't stand him. I was like, "Who get the schmaltz out of my face?" I was like, "I need more Burt Gummer. I don't want his ghost making me cry." It made me cry. I don't like feeling my own feelings. You know that.
Boo! Burt Gummer should die, man. Mitch McCockran for life. Come
No,
on.
I honestly, I think it sucks because like honestly, the little boy from Tremors 1 is probably my least favorite character. He's like, I just don't like I forget his name. Crap, what's that kid's name?
Melvin.
Melvin. I don't like Melvin. Melvin's the worst guy because like my go-to answer would probably be Jamie Kennedy's character but it was trash. Like that character was just garbage altogether. It's like not redeemable. It's just garbage. It was terribly written. It didn't make any sense. It was really, really stupid. Like everything it did just was upsetting in general. So like some of that movie wasn't as bad as people make it out to be. I did enjoy some of it, but like his character in general just was garbage and should have just gone. However, that's too easy because everyone knows that. I just don't like Melvin. I think Melvin's a bad character, and I think every time when they brought him back, I didn't like him then either. So yeah, Melvin.
Okay, you do know his tragic backstory, right?
What's his tragic backstory?
His parents leave him to go gambling.
Okay, so what you're saying is that Tremors is actually a Home Alone movie. But we get to see that's.
Melvin is not nearly as good as Kevin McAllister.
That's exactly what I'm hearing. But so what you're really telling me is not that Melvin is great, but that Macaulay Culkin is incredible. Like Macaulay Culkin is so wonderful that what I really want to see is Macaulay Culkin as Kevin McAllister as an adult fighting Graboids. That's the movie that I think we all deserve.
Yeah, him and Christopher Mintz-Plasse. That would just be bring that on.
That's what we need.
Just taking out the Graboids. Mitch McCockran's like, listen, you gotta slow down on how many you kill. I can only bury so many.
I can only bury one a month.
It takes you a long time.
I don't even go to work. My children are starving.
They have this counter at the house. Whenever it digs, it's another Graboid dead, and they know Daddy's gone for another month.
Oh my God, I'm using all this lore for later, babe. I'm writing each of these down. Each one that you keep doing, I just keep writing it down.
They're
like,
yours.
Bring that back. You're getting credit when this gets written for real.
Mitch McCockran. McCockran? I don't remember. I make up stuff on the fly, baby. McCockran, yeah. I knew it had cock in it.
So what did you?
It always does. As long as you're around, it always will.
Of course, it had cock in it. These are giant penis worms. Like, come on.
Yeah, I mean, we had to. All the dick puns possible.
Yeah.
What did you think of the wonderful the tribute to We Have Issues in Tremors 2?
Oh, so in Tremors 2, when they showed the ostriches trying to flee as fast as they could, it was just wonderful.
Yeah, because you knew that there were a stronger army of ostriches just on the other side of the field, which would come from us, of course, in our colony.
Yeah, so like these two ostriches are just fleeing from these Graboids, and then like they're like running as fast as they can. But ostriches can't outspeed a freaking sandworm. So right as they're about to leap out, it's like just like in Infinity War, like Thor comes down, slams the lightning. It's these two battle birds leap into the field, and then there is Stevie and Anthony on their battle birds of destruction, Quezza and Coddle. Those are our birds. Like we just have like Gatling guns attached to them and stuff, and they shoot sonic missiles, and these like Graboids are just like losing their minds because they can't process their surroundings anymore because of these sonic like blasters. So wonderful nod to the colony, even though we did get killed in it. We got killed like immediately.
We got killed so quick. It wasn't okay.
God, the sonic blasters. That's actually a good idea. Fuck.
I have them every now and then. It's very rare.
The whole fucking episode. So I don't want to hear that it's rare. Like it's so Anthony, why do you like Tremors?
I don't like Tremors. I actually hate all the Tremors movies. There's 7 of them. I just don't like any of these Tremors movies. No, stop it. I think Tremors is so much fun. I love the idea of people going up against like an enemy that is just larger than themselves, like in numerous ways. Like they have to figure out what it is, how to defeat it. I don't know why. I'm a sucker for that. I love like rules and figuring them out and then trying to best an opponent based on those particular rules. That's why I love like gremlins and vampires and that kind of stuff. So I like that we're introduced to these characters who are faced with this like larger than life monster, and then they have to learn about it and figure out a way to stop it. And they're it was a unique setting and a unique creature, and I've never seen anything like that as a kid. And I freaking loved it. And it's like, and that's like what a lot of those, like what you're saying,
they're just perfect underdog tales, right? I mean, that's basically what it is. Like, but the underdog comes through because these things have everything bleed. If it bleeds, we can kill it, Predator style.
Exactly. And I've always loved that. And I like that. Like that speaks to me and like definitely resonates with me a lot more than seeing like Superman fighting something that's stronger than anyone on Earth. I'm just like watching them go fist to fist and like who's stronger. Like that doesn't. It's fun to watch sometimes, but like those aren't the movies that I really cared about as a kid. It was movies like that, like what Steven was just saying. That's why. But also, I was really hoping that it would be a good series, and it didn't happen. It just kept being worse and worse and worse. So I was like, I
didn't ask you that question for a reason.
I wanted to stay in this little piece of heaven I created.
Because I know Anthony's opinion of the Tremors movies as they go on. I don't care. He's wrong. He's wrong.
Mitch is like, looks like I got more bodies to bury.
Mitch McCockran character, I got to bring that back somehow. That's so good.
If he's not in your next Tremors movie played by Steven, I don't know what you're doing with your life. Like,
I'll just send you footage of me digging, and you can just like shoot like pan away to me like burying worms.
That's the thing, man, is that I get to make my next Tremors movie, so I get to decide who the fuck I put in it. And if I make a Kickstarter and I'm like, I need enough money to bring Anthony and Steven up from Florida.
Oh, that would be so funny.
That would be amazing.
Mitch McCockran, like.
Oh my god!
I'm Mitch, and they call me the Graboid Graveyard.
Oh my god, Steven, we could just do it. When I get to, what did I say, 20,000 followers on Twitter, we'll make just a Mitch McCockran movie.
You know what? I'll give the Mitch McCockran character to you. You made it. I won't take it. That's yours. It's not mine. It's not my property.
Mitch can appear wherever Mitch needs to appear.
That's absolutely.
He is part of the multiverse movies. He's just.
If Mitch is the new Burt Gummer, I'm in. I'm in.
Mitch is like, there's a multiverse out there, and in every one, I'm burying Graboids. So like, why?
Okay, so this is a very specific question, and this one's for Steven. And this seems like it's Graboid related, and maybe it is. But why is putting the eggs back in the carton the superior way to do that?
Well, if I'm just blatantly honest, it's because that's what my mom taught me. But like aside from that, it just makes sense. Because eggs stink when they're in your trash. So why are you gonna have various bags of your trash tainted with the smell of eggs when you can just put them back in the carton? Like, duh. I remember Dina originally suggested to put it in the garbage disposal, and I'm like, what? Like that just sounds dumb. Like, but yeah. No, they have to go back on the carton. That is the way. This is the way. And then you sprinkle a little cilantro on top of the broken eggshells to keep the scent, at bay.
Some coriander too. See if you can put some in there,
Make sure the carton's yellow,
Yep.
And I always like to draw a little horse on the surface of it, So.
Yeah. To make sure you can fit more in the garbage, you can always stomp them down with your feet. Just.
No. Part of my olive drinking game is anytime we mention another podcast, I have to eat an olive.
So I'll tell you something that like has been driving me crazy is I can't help but think about all the people who will watch this for the Talking Tremors podcast and not have context of everything we've ever said in this night. And I can't I'm like, and I do every time we've done a guest show, this happens where I just sit here and I'm like, oh, okay. Oh God, I have to like contextualize everything that's just happened for the people who have no idea what's going on. Cause I know I would want someone to explain this to me, but that's not what anyone else is doing. So I'm just going to I'm just rolling with punches. I'm just calling out how I'm feeling right now. That's so if you're watching this right now and you don't know what just happened, I'm with you, and I also did. I apologize, and I love you, and I'm sorry.
See, I do that because it's like it makes people be like, "Well, what the fuck was that?" And so then you got to go look and you got to go find it and you got to figure it out. And like
there
comes from like I had to do that with the War show. Like there was so many references to other people and stuff, and as I went through, I was like, "Oh, hold on." I got to stop watching this and I got to go over here and watch Don't Make It Weird for a little bit. And, okay, that's what that is. And then bring it back again. So I see your pain, Anthony. I see you just like,
Yeah, I'm just like, oh gosh. Okay, so those were all buzzwords from the show Don't Make It Weird, which is another podcast that exists on YouTube. You can find out at DMIW podcast. But yeah, we've been on that. Levi loves that podcast. Go check it out. But yeah, they have buzzwords and a drink game, and if you say all those words, you have to drink. And we said, I think all of them.
We did.
I think we got them all. We didn't say that's what she said though, but
well, you just did. But yeah, I don't care. I love them. Whatever. I love you, Dina, Sean, and Daniel. I imagine they'll listen to it. So this is for them. How about that? Fuck everybody else. That's it.
This is the Don't Make It Weird segment of the.
So if you heard what Levi just said, they didn't really mean that. We don't mean like fuck all of you. If you're watching this, you're not on the Don't Make It Weird podcast. We also appreciate you and we love you and we're glad you're watching. I'm just saying, that was a joke, is what happened. I'm just kidding.
If you had any idea how many people come into my show and then proceed to either don't know what Tremors is.
Oh, I know.
Try to tell me what Tremors is. I've had so many people be like, "Oh, this is what you need to know about Tremors, Levi." And I'm like, "Oh, yes, yes, I do." Oh, wow, it's very interesting. Like, wow, Stevie, I had no idea that wishes created graboids. That is amazing.
I commend you for those live shows though. I've joined you in the live shows just watching, and sometimes I don't tell you I'm watching because then you talk to me and stuff and I'm like, oh okay, oh no geez, and I feel things. So yeah, new share books, and which is very cool and kind of you. But then I've gone over to TikTok to watch the live show from that perspective and see what those people are doing. It's terrifying. I don't know how. Yeah, I mean, I applaud you for that stuff because oh my gosh, what the things that those people will say and are capable of, it's just yikes.
I do a lot of ignoring on it.
Yeah.
The Tremor Saga has 13,000 followers, so using the TikTok is a great way to port people over to YouTube.
Yeah.
But about 75% of the time, I'm just we're gonna look at the YouTube right now. I'm gonna ignore some of that shit because it gets really religious or transphobic or very sexual, and you're just I'm out.
We're talking Tremors, people. Get the fuck out of here,
It's usually my response when if someone's really coming at me. I'm like, this is a thing about giant worms. You are in the wrong fucking place for this right now. It's weird. So I thank you for applauding me because it is difficult sometimes to.
Yeah, we've done a couple of live shows on our show and then other live shows and for with other people, and it's just it's always kind of nerve-wracking for us, or at least me, using my I statements. I can't take it, I forget. I'm just when you invited us on, I was like, okay, yeah, and for a minute I was like, oh, it's gonna be a live show, and but at least I know some of those people because I've seen them commenting. But then again, there's a TikTok of it all, and I'm like, oh boy, I don't know if I can deal with this. And but when you said it was just on Zoom, I was like, oh, I can do Zoom. I do that every week. We got this.
There's a part of me that's like, oh, I should have had TikTok up, but no, that's just a distraction. No. Caitlin asked, are you gonna do it on TikTok? No, I could not do it. No. This is it stays here with these wonderful people here, and I focus on Anthony's beautiful smile and his laugh, and then Steven's hair, which, I mean, Steven, okay, Anthony, which one of us has better hair?
Steven.
Mitch is I got another graboid to bury.
Listen, you both have beautiful hair, and I love
mine isn't in top form right now because it's post-work hair, but
I haven't watched it in a day. I was very anxious earlier.
The acoustics of this room.
The ring light is shining on me, and I have a sheen, and it's just the wrong thing, man. You can't expect this.
I think the biggest, for me, because my hair is not looking great right now. So anyone watching this, but anyways, it's not looking its best. But my wife is a hairstylist, and one of the cool things for me is she works at a nice salon, is whenever I go to her company's Christmas parties or anything like that, her other coworkers are always like, Tina, color your hair. I'm like, nope, the sun colored my hair. And they're like, no. You know how many people pay to have that color? Blah, blah, blah. They just all pop off. So I was like, oh, thank you. Because I do have these weird natural highlights in the front from putting my hair back for work. The sun beats my bangs up a lot.
I also have amazing hair. My hair is just so good. It's so
the fact that Anthony cuts his own hair and it looks that fantastic, because I couldn't. Right?
Thank you, Steven. Thank you.
Anthony, I need you to know, I don't know if I've ever told you, but like Tina always comments like Anthony does such a good job on his own hair. I wish I could cut my own hair like that. Like,
Does she?
yeah, all the time.
I'll tell you, I love Tina. Like I'm just saying for the people who don't know, Steven's wife Tina is also one of my best friends. Has been for a very long time. And like Tina is one of my best friends. We talk like we'll text, every once in a while, and and I know Tina. I know I can say anything to Tina and like get a sincere response from her. However, every once in a while, we'll like when we meet, she'll say something about my hair, and I will in the back of my head be like, oh, she noticed something that I didn't notice. I like something happened here. Something is amiss. Like I remember she was just like, can I feel that? I was like, oh God, why? Why do you want to feel this, Tina? Like, no, because then you're gonna point out all of my weak spots. I don't know what I'm doing. Like, stop it. But no, she's always so amazing and sweet. But that's really cool to hear. Yeah, because she is.
Yeah, you have beautiful hair. When I found out you did your own, I was like, oh shit, I thought that was a.
Yeah, he goes and gets it done professionally or something. Like he's basically been doing it for a while, so he is a professional of that hairstyle. I mean, I bet there's hairstylists that work in like Red Kid that can't cut that hairstyle as well as Anthony can cut that hairstyle because he does it every once a month at least.
We got a beautiful Toby Kebbell over there, baby. That's what I'm so thank you for being here, Toby.
Your name is Toby.
Toby.
We're all thinking it too, Toby. Yeah. Fuck you, Toby. So Anthony, no, God no. That's not a far off reference, Anthony. It's okay. Everybody's watched The Office. They know what Toby means, okay? Or the Roots. Your name is Toby, boy. It's cool. No, your name is Toby, boy.
That's where my brain went. And I was like, oh man. This is where we get canceled.
This is a bad joke. It's a mean joke.
I would have been canceled a long time ago. So, Anthony, why does Tremors frustrate you so much?
Oh my gosh. Okay, Tremors frustrates me so much. Are you kidding me? It frustrates me so much because it feels like an easy win. It feels like you can they got it right with the first one. The first one is excellent. There's a great tone. They set up a whole cool universe. And the second one, they're like, what if we like get weird and meta about it and just, act like, oh, here's the new guy. No, they just make another movie. What are you doing? Why are you doing this? Why are you acting like it's this like special thing? Basically, what makes me mad is that they keep getting it wrong when it feels so easy to get it right.
So my thing that I was going to do when I did this was I was going to try my best not to defend Tremors like I usually do. And I just want to be like, the reason they wanted Kevin Bacon and Reba, but then they had $17 million budget, but then Universal.
Yeah, but once you realize that you can't get Kevin Bacon and Reba, you just let it go and you make a movie.
I know.
That's the thing.
You make Tremors 2 the Revengeing with, then the Graboids are back.
Mercury-plated Graboids.
That being said, like I'm with everyone. Like everyone seems to love Tremors 2, and I'm with you. It was fun. It's definitely probably the best sequel. I think it's definitely one of the best sequels for sure. So
I saw that slip there. Nice job.
Well, because I'm trying to think, because I don't know, I have unpopular opinions about the Tremors sequels. I don't think the first time Jamie Kennedy comes on, I don't think that movie as a whole is as bad as everyone thinks it is. I think that movie is more entertaining and like fun than people give credit for.
It's actually one of Caitlin's favorites. Tremors 5 is one of Caitlin's favorite movies. So
yeah, that movie's it was like I and maybe it was like a curving of expectations, because like I went into it thinking like, oh, this movie's gonna be absolute like nonsense. I'm gonna hate every moment of this, and I was like, I'm gonna watch it anyway because it's a Tremors movie. But I watched it and I was like, they use a little too many. Like once Tremors 5 hits, 5, 6, and 7 all have these like MTV 90s like cuts to them that the other movies didn't have. And I'm just like, oh God, sometimes it works. Like in 5, it kind of works sometimes, but like they would lean on that technique so much that like it becomes obnoxious. I freaking start hating it. But yeah, that's how I feel about Tremors movie.
God, like I said, this is where I was like, I'm not going to defend it, because I'm just like, yeah, I'm yes and in this, and I'm agreeing and being like, totally, yeah. So this is for both of you. What do you guys think tremors taste like? And I say tremors by like, what is the graboids or the shriekers or the ass blasters? What do you think they taste like? And then on that point, how would you prepare them?
I'd imagine you'd prepare graboid meat the same way you'd prepare, a nice cut of beef. I would, slice a good old hunk out of its, loin area, which is probably, as far away from that belly as possible, because that belly is grinding against gravel all day. So somewhere around its back, like strap area. And I would cut it into about, 1 to 2 inch steaks. I would season it with some of the Weber's Nolan season, and I would grill it until a perfect medium rare and serve it with some pineapple sauce, which is, nice and light. Maybe a little sprinkle of coriander. Not to bring in the DMIW. Sorry, I was forgetting my letters there. Anthony, how would you prepare? What part of the graboid would you eat?
Honestly, I'm a little picky with my graboid. I only eat the tentacles, and it has to be sliced like sushi. That's
so it's like a raw style.
Yeah, that's it's the raw tentacle. I mean, that's really where you get the most like the tender meats. It's delicious.
Do you?
You know what's funny?
I use spicy mayo, like a little bit of spicy mayo on it, like
maybe a little ponzu dipping sauce.
Oh, absolutely.
For me, it's ass blaster on a spigot. Slow roast it. Do the barbecue sauce, vinegar,
stuff it with an apple, and then
that pineapple. That's a great idea. Pineapple sauce,
whole pineapple sauce.
Oh yeah, hell, I would. They got the beak, so I would just shove that fucking pineapple in there, baby, on both ends.
Both ends.
Ass blasted butt and the front. So double pineapple, just like little Nicky, with Hitler.
Are you schnittius? Bitches like the more they eat, the less I bury. And I'm
I don't need to waste any part of it.
I make my boots out of its tongue.
All right. So, Steven, how frustrating is it that Anthony is so talented and yet he's so scared of making this stakeout movie, or he was until recently?
Anthony is just someone, and I can relate to this. Anthony is someone that likes to have his ducks in a row. He doesn't want to and I can completely relate to that. I don't want to put myself out there on something unless I'm confident I'm going to display something that is worth it, And I think Anthony just wanted to set up, even though he is incredible, we all battle with that self-doubt when it comes to art. Art is one of the bitchiest things in the entire universe, but it's also one of the most loveliest things because we're so scared to share it. But it's, what someone thinks of your art is never what you're thinking they're going to think your art is. I can't explain it, but and I think that's what you're catching from Anthony is that just that he's human and he's looking for the reassurance that he can do the thing. Yeah, don't worry. I'm trying to get that whole thing in there that you actually are human and not this super android that I met, 20 years ago. It was pretty crazy.
Didn't you build him in a lab? I swear, that was.
I plug you in, like Duran Duran. That's literally dim the lights, electric Antonella. Not Barbara. But anyways, but no, I think that's what you're seeing because Anthony is incredibly talented, and I think he definitely knows where his strengths are and everything like that. And I think
Steven's my strength. I know a lot of Steven.
We're each other. I think that's why we work so well is because we just bounce our fear off of one another until the ball grows into a project. Is what it is.
That's fair. That's a good point. Actually, yeah.
I watched you enough to know that that's exactly right. That's. You two.
It's hot potato. It's hot potato the whole time, and then until the potato is ready to be served.
And then we eat it.
And then we eat that potato.
We eat that potato. Well,
we want more people to eat that potato. But there's a good amount of people eating those potatoes now. So
that's true. We need to.
So what you're saying is you're the superior form of potato, then?
Yes. the hot idea bouncing potato casserole, if you will.
Ooh. I just want to eat you up with some pineapple sauce.
Pineapple sauce. It's the best sauce. It's made with the syrup of a can of Dole pineapple. Don't even use fresh pineapple because this recipe comes from the Midwest. So, it's just lots of cans.
Oh yeah.
Corn mush. You gotta get that corn in that sauce. I know you're thinking corn in the sauce. It's just
Anthony, I hope you know that I do mean this all in a wonderful sense of I'm gonna do Anthony's face right now because I know yeah, totally. I don't feel any, nope, you're wrong and I hate you. And it's like, no, look, you really are. And the reason I use Steven as the jumping off point is because, I would say the same to Steven. Anthony, why can't Steven needs to quit his job? Like, you need to quit your job. Like, oh my God, your Michael's stories on Twitter make me just want to strangle people. Oh. But like, Steven, you're moving pavers all day, man, and you're a draw. No, but you got your look. Man, I work construction. I do lead abatement. I got to wear the Tyvek suit and everything, and I want to kill myself. And it's like, this doesn't help your drawing wrist, man. And Tina's right. You gotta quit your job, bro. And she's gonna hairstyle you to freedom. And then that's just all I want. It doesn't mean anything about me, but I have fallen so completely in love with it's your work ethic, both of you. That's what I can't deny. And I got Anthony to nod his head yes to that.
Well, it's you. I'm hoping the movie does it. Because obviously we're never gonna stop making the comics, but I'm hoping that the movie kind of pushes that,
pushes the envelope to the next,
just the next step. So then people,
because let's be real, the comic medium isn't the most popular medium in the entire world when it comes to digesting entertainment. So
which is a shame, but it's just the reality of the situation. But like, people will sit down, which is weird because like it doesn't take an hour and a half to read Play It Again. But people are way more willing to sit down and watch a movie for 2 hours or a series for 6 hours than they are to read a book for 25 minutes, so.
And really, if I'm honest, the whole goal of projects like Deathless and even Play It Again, like, we all want to see those in the visual movie series medium anyway, but this is the way we can produce these fantastical like action sequences in a way that we can show what we're seeing, and be able to print it and sell it, but Deathless as a mini series would be freaking awesome.
Yeah, Deathless would be a lot of fun as like a mini series or a show or a movie, or Play It Again would be a lot harder to pull off as far as like thematically. It would be, like tonally to get the same tone, because like I think like the narration does a lot of heavy lifting in the story, so it's like in order to get that
I think you'd have to almost go like a Dr. Horrible blog situation.
That's why exactly, that's why we're going to make a musical with it, because I think that would kind of sell it a little bit.
Well, now I sent it to Bill Watterson, so like I said, he's going to option it, and then.
Actually, we still have to send that to Bill Watterson because we ran out of Play It Agains. I don't know.
How did that happen? How did you run out of Play It Again? Did somebody like just send it all to a bunch of people?
Yeah, that's exactly. Because Steven, all of those orders that you were getting in that you sent out last week were most of them, with the exception of a couple, were from Levi sending our book to various people. Is what happened.
Really? Yeah. I was wondering because there was 3 addresses in the same town that I'd never heard of before, but I was like, are these all these people related? Like, that's cool. I didn't know who or what was being ordered or why, but I was like, it's all shipped out now. I don't know if I told you that everything that is owed is shipped. Actually, the only thing that isn't shipped, and I have to, is that prize package, because I forgot about that. So
yep, I have no idea what you're talking about. None at all. Nope.
Those are some
honestly, that was. Yes. Now I'll stop, because again, Play It Again. When I first read this, and Anthony, do your this is goddamn amazing.
Just trying to live.
Just amazing. It's amazing. And Deathless is cool, but I haven't got issue 2, and it was so funny going from Play It Again that wonderful prose and beauty of it, to then fucking flipping Deathless open to like, and then page 2, and there's a statue ripping off somebody's head. And it was like,
complete shit.
whoa, okay, holy shit.
Yeah.
So the
We're going
coolest
for
thing about using
something new.
the coolest thing about using pirate ship for everything is I can actually track everything as it's happening. So
Honestly, none of those people know I was sending that to them. They're all gonna get
I'm
it.
checking where yours is because Chris got his and I sent yours and Chris's at the same time.
Yeah, I'm waiting for my friends to text me and be like, "Did you send me this really depressing comic that I now have to like reevaluate my life?" Like, it's like, yes, I did, and you'll thank me. While he's doing that, okay. So, if you made a Tremors movie, Anthony, what would it look like?
Basically, so it's about this guy. His name is Mitch McCockran.
McCockran.
Mitch McCockran. No, like, wait, what are you asking? Are you asking if I made a movie with no budget by myself, or if I made a movie with like unlimited budget, or like who's behind this movie?
I actually had that as a 2-part question in that, where it's that you do your own low budget one, and then what if they gave, hey, Anthony, it's 2025, here's the rights to Tremors, like, what are you gonna do with it? Like,
yeah, because I mean, like, when I was talking about if I get like a certain amount of followers, whatever, I'll make my own Tremors movie, and I do have a really good idea of how I'm gonna pull off the monsters and stuff. Like, I know how I'm gonna do that, and I think I can make it fun. I think I can make it fun. I have a pretty good like idea for how to do it. I don't want to spoil it or anything, but I'm not sure. I was kind of thinking it would be pretty funny to do like a stakeout idea, whereas like Steven and I are stuck in a car and there's a graboid out there. It's like that situation, because I wanted to play it off of the stakeout thing, because like the whole joke is us being stuck in a car for the whole thing. But that was just like my first idea. I had other ideas, because I kind of want to put my son in one, or it's gonna be really fun if my son and I are playing outside, and then suddenly we are faced with this graboid situation and we're separated and we have to figure out how to do that.
Go with that one.
Yeah, that would be fun.
So, okay, if you get big budget, here's $10 million, Anthony, make your Tremors movie. What are you doing?
I'm sitting down and thinking about it a whole lot is what I'm doing. But like, I mean, right off the bat, I don't know. I would do something similar to what they did in the first movie, honestly. Because if it's a reboot, but I wouldn't change it too much. But I don't know. I like the idea of Tremors being more like Jaws than it is Jurassic Park. Like, I like the idea of I like the idea of like them discovering a creature and having to learn its weaknesses while avoiding it, and like failing, and like there are sacrifices, there are things that happen. The problem is, especially nowadays, like everyone has cell phones, everyone has the internet, everyone has everything, so you have to create a situation in which somehow the graboid destroys the towers or does something, there has to be some stupid little mechanism in there to get rid of the world. Otherwise, it's like, okay, why isn't the military coming in and destroying these graboids in the very first like 20 minutes of the movie? It's like you have to have the monster squad situation where it's like, oh no, it's just up to us, until like Eugene calls at the end of the movie and gets the army involved, because eventually like they have to step in, right? Like, how do you avoid that when you have like a big world problem in a small town? You have to somehow come to terms with that problem. How do you get rid of those issues? Which I don't know. I'd have to sit down and like find a way to make that work in the narrative and make sense, because they're like trying to make sense of it right now. I would just get online and be like, oh, there's a giant worm here, what do we do? I wouldn't face that. But yeah, it would be more like Jaws. It would be like a small town, people having to figure out how to face this problem, and you have to give them a reason to for it to be them, kind of like in the first movie, they get stuck in this position. I don't love the way that they conclude the first movie, really. It's just like, because it's one of those things where like when you think about it, it's like, okay, they could have done that the whole time. Like they could have been like, why weren't they just in a car driving toward this thing the whole time. I don't know. Like it's just like the worm at the very end of the movie, the worm suddenly shows like a complete lack of intelligence, or it's like, oh, okay, I guess, you know. So it's tricky, you know, because you have this monster and what, you disagree? I want to say, like, what do you think?
I promised myself not to do this, so we're not doing this. I don't. Nope. No,
but I mean, there is. I mean, the thing I like, or one of the things I like about Tremors is like watching people. The thing I like about a lot of movies in which there are like otherworldly, you know, like supernatural things, you know, or like, you know, like sci-fi and such, is like watching people adapt to situations and try to figure out what a situation is and how to overcome it. I like Stephen was saying before, the underdog stories. Like I really like that part of the story and the discovery of it all. So like that's really what I would focus on. That's what I'd be more interested in than the actual plot of the movie, which is just basically people have to deal with a worm, you know, monster. That's pretty much, you know, what it would be. So my answer, Levi, is I need time to write the freaking movie. Okay.
Well, you didn't give me any fucking time. You were just like came into my live stream and you're like, make a movie already, Levi. I thought you could make one. And I was like, fine. And then I told Caitlin, I was like, we're going out next week.
Nice.
That's not a joke. That's actually pretty much what happened. Like you all bullied me in that live stream. I had it partially in my head and I was like, you know, I'll get to, and then you and Edwin and William and Alicia just like all bullied me. And I was like, fuck it. Okay, fine. I'll make one. Awesome. And to the point, I know how to solve your problem.
Yeah.
I guess if you watch the TV series, you begin to understand that just because there are like giant worms out there doesn't mean everybody automatically believes it. Like you have to, like Bigfoot. There's 2 episodes in particular where like they do some very heavy lifting story wise to like, oh, okay, so like you need to see the giant worm come up out of the ground before you're finally like, oh, these are real or whatever.
Yeah, but I mean, but if it's prominent, if it's happening often enough in a town, it would be like what we say about Bigfoot and aliens and stuff. Like, why, with everyone having cell phones, why aren't you filming these graboids coming up? Like Bert, they show in Tremors 2 that they could take a remote control car and catch a graboid anytime they want. It's the easiest thing in the world. They're like, Tremors 2 makes no sense that they're like, oh, let's get these guys. You don't need them. You just needed anyone with a remote control car and some explosives, which you had and gave to them. Why are you paying these people? Anyway.
Well, you brought that point up on Twitter and I was like, oh, that's it. Like, why are you asking these people to come and do this? And it was like,
they're professional remote car controllers, guys. Come on.
Actually, that's a funnier story. If they would have been like, okay, no, these people won the rally of the RC rally of 2012, and like let's bring them in because they can really wrangle these graboids.
It just cuts like a Kawasaki Ninjas commercial. Like Ninjas rule.
At that point, it would essentially be like the movie Armageddon, where instead of getting like someone who's
oil drillers.
You know, we got to teach the RC workers. I can't even finish.
Yes, you know, like that would be more fun.
Listen, I know RC, and that's what I know.
But it's just like knowing what we know through the actual series as it's presented to us. They're so easy to wrangle. There are so many of them at any given time. Why aren't there pictures of these things? Not to mention, like, okay, like Burt Gummer has this whole YouTube series and all this stuff saying like, hey, there are these creatures and here's a whole history of them and everything in the world. Like, it seems like we would definitely get rid of them. Like the government goes crazy with, like, they spray for mosquitoes because they don't want us getting bit. They're not, you know, like we would have a whole like thing. It would be like Parks and Rec, but Graboid edition, which would be a great show to watch, by the way. Yeah. Starring John Ralphio.
No graboids for me.
The graboids are the worst.
I love it. I would watch.
I got a case of I got run over by a graboid. Jason, I have a Graboid guy if you need one.
Can you imagine like Mona Lisa and John Ralphio trying to be subtle, like try not to make any movements, try not to make any movements, just do it.
Daddy, I need money, please, to buy RC cars for the Graboids.
Oh my gosh, it writes itself. I would watch every episode of you.
Ron Swanson is Mitch McCockran.
He's making kids instead of getting buried.
Here's Graboid.
Or did I?
Serve with ketchup if you'd like, or don't.
Or don't.
So, Steven, do you think Tremors fans are weird?
Well, being the biggest Tremors fan, I would have to. There's no way. I mean, I don't think I'm weird, and that's why would Tremors fans be weird? If I'm the biggest, most versed Tremors fan in the entire world,
which you are,
who knows everything about the mercury-plated one specifically, and has his doctorate in tremorcology. No, I do not. The fictional Steven that knows all about Tremors and the real Steven that knows nothing about Tremors both do not think Tremors fans are weird, because Steven is a super nerd about a lot of things too. So like if someone wants to be a super nerd about Graboids and Tremors, I totally get that.
Okay, I'm going to go off this. So this is something I've learned to really appreciate about you, Steven. I think is beautiful and amazing. Is that you seem like the type of person who would have bullied me in school. And I mean that, just listen, there's an arc here, okay? All right? What has it been like for you, it seems, from my perspective, growing out of your cynicism? Like, I think you talk about being a bit more harsh and cold-plated, and like growing out of that cynicism and learning to love weird fans and stuff like that, learning to love yourself. And Anthony, like you and Anthony talks about how you both didn't like each other at first and all that. Like how, like,
so like Anthony and I's like origin was more or less like a I would say mine was more peer influence than actual Steven influence. You know what I'm saying? Like our friend group being like, oh, we're these people. And Mike like, no, this guy's really cool. And like, like, because honestly, if I'm real, like I was definitely, I wouldn't consider myself a very bullyish person. My siblings may disagree, but like when it came to like school and stuff like that, I was never really like a bully whatsoever. Actually, I pretty much got along with everyone except for Anthony for a very tiny brief period of our high school existence. But yeah, like I've been pretty cool with most people for forever, as far as I can remember. I've always been really good in social settings and horrible to the people I love. That's how I've always been, actually. Like I'm like really fantastic. Like I remember in school, like I had like perfect grades, like the guidance counselors loved me, all this and that, and I'm having like all these anger problems at home, and I'm like, it was literally like a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde situation when I was a kid. But like in school, perfect kid, beautiful, like listen, like was rule follower to a T. Like that's who I am, It's because my dad does crack, Levi.
And my mom does meth, so like we can have this back and forth.
We should introduce them. They can make crack meth and just like destroy the world together.
Send your dad up here, or we'll meet in the middle at like Kentucky or something, Ohio. Like that's Anthony, you like you want to say something here. You're doing your lip.
What do you think, Anthony? Do you think I'm a pretty much just like, I feel like I've always been pretty like, I've definitely gotten softer, but yeah. I feel like I've always been pretty.
No, I never would have characterized you as a bully. I think you know what you were more when you were young, like in high school and like just after. I remember you were more like playful, like not pranks, but like you just more Jovial. I'm trying to think. Like I remember, like one time you put like Ash in Jenna's hair.
Yes.
Like, I remember, like you do like little like goofy things, but never bully. Like,
but
and it
with
was,
never with the intention, and then like realizing like how bad it was afterwards. Like my intention wasn't to be that disrespectful.
Yes,
but
exactly.
Okay.
And,
That's what I was thinking of.
and not to mention, it was only like you said, people you were already close to. It's not like you were like, I'm gonna be mean to people. Like there was never any like ill intent necessarily. It was just like a. But like, I mean, I think that was just a general. And I had that too. Like it was just like a general immaturity, that we had.
Just
that was
a
like
stupid kid.
That was actually why I was bringing it up. Was I talking to other people on my live show of just like, oh, that thing that we all used to do of like that immature put downiness, and I was just trying to explore it a little of just like, what's it like growing out of that and being better and being your absolute weirdest self. Like
I think that I get what you're saying, and I do think that was like pretty awesome. Just to like, but like I've always loved myself anyway. Like when it comes to like the things like I like and stuff, like I don't really care if people like think I'm cool because I like something. So like, but I see what you're saying too, and like finally becoming like. Well, actually, I don't remember becoming an adult. At some point, I did. You know what I'm saying? There was some transitional period, but it was just over the course. I probably
it was March 12th, 2013. Stephen was like, "This is my day," and I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "You'll see," and then I did.
I am a grown up.
I am becoming.
Yeah, I would say like my favorite. I'm still happy, but I think like one of my favorite like periods of my life was probably like 31 to now. Like I really like was starting to vibe who I was as a person, and like loving my kids, loving my wife, like kind of just growing as a person all around. And yeah, I think that's like my favorite period. I feel like 31 was like the true transitional period where I truly like kind of flipped to the other side of that coin,
You answered my question beautifully. I know I was meant to be like, I have a bunch of these weird ones mixed in here. Just to be like, wee-hoo, what is this? And that was perfectly awkward. I love that. Thank you.
That's me.
No, you're good. Anthony, what would your version of Tremors 2 have been? Like you've already said, like that's not how you would have taken it. And
I would have gone to a completely different place and just I would have made a new movie with the Graboids and not tried to create a new creature. Well, you know what? Like even what they did was fine. It's just I wouldn't have made as many dumb jokes with the secondary character. I would have just been like, look, this is just a new character and make him his own thing and stop trying to make jokes about how he's not Kevin Bacon. We get it. Everyone gets it. It's stupid. I love meta humor. I don't like it when they're self-effacing in a way that kind of creates, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. They created the lower tier of movie by making a joke that it was a lower tier of movie. And I was like, I would have preferred it just to like have confidence in itself and be a good Tremors movie.
It draws your focus to it, so then that's all you're seeing. Like instead of like that's
because is this the new guy? I'm like, okay, you don't have to say that. You know what you should have done is give him a reason to be in the movie, but instead you were like, yeah, we just need another guy. It's like I don't really like that.
What's worse is that they did give him a reason. I think the reason, like he has the speech about like, why would you want to do this? Well, I sit in my apartment, I watch too much TV, I don't do anything, et cetera, et cetera. And it's like, okay, yeah, he let like fucking go on. Because I think we'd all relate to that a little bit about like, yeah, let's go fucking hunt Graboids with the guy that did it before. You have fun with it. And he's got his ownness there. You don't need to draw the focus. Like,
yeah. I kind of, what I would have liked is, I mean, I have questions about Graboids, right? And I don't, because okay, Graboids have been around. They're pre-Cambrian life forms, but no one sees them until the 1990s, right? Like the Earth, like humans never hear of them until the 1990s, and they just come up. Now I'm like, okay, why is this? Why is it that we not now? What's worse? What's worse about it is that the evolutions began And it's a new mystery because no one's, first of all, ever heard of a Graboid. They have to name them and everything. It's this whole thing. No one's ever heard of them. Okay. And now no one's ever heard of these new evolutions of these things as well. No evidence of these have ever been found. No, they've never existed. Where did they come from? They're clearly aliens of some sort, right? Like we don't see the origin of them. They say they're Precambrian. Maybe they're just old, like maybe they come from somewhere else. Maybe they came from Earth and they left. There are a lot of
maybe they were wished into existence by a giant dragon with dragon.
That's very true. But what I was really getting at is maybe the Graboids are like cicadas. Maybe the Graboids disappear for a while and for some one reason or another, and they come back up, and maybe over time they come back up more frequently when they're about to evolve. So like rather than just jumping right into like, hey, let's go to a new creature, have a little more faith in like, do the like let Graboids be Graboids for a little longer in the first, like let more people experience that, because there's a lot you can do with Graboids before jumping into Shriekers, before jumping into other, But I would have liked them to explore the idea that people don't believe in Graboids. That like what if like if Tremors 1, like if Tremors 1 just got rid of, what if the government got rid of the freaking Graboid and said, no, it didn't exist, and no one believed Bert. No one believed any of these people. Not that they went out and they made a video game and Valentine got famous and blah, 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 blah. What if we got rid of all of that and no one believed it freaking happened? Because that's something we can all relate to. How terrifying would that be if what if the three of us right now, what if right now an alien walked through the door and went and just like disappeared, and it wasn't on camera for some reason, but we all saw it, and we're just like, guys, there was an alien. You're like, ooh, what do we do? What do you do? What do you do if you experience something? So then what if someone else is experiencing it, but no one believes them and they can't figure it out? So that gives them a reason to go to the only other people who have experienced this thing, not people who are capable of doing this, but people who believe that it's possible and want to prove that they're not crazy. And they have something to prove and some reason to be there and some excuse to exist in this freaking universe in the first place, rather than going, hey, you were in the first movie, so now you're in the second one. That made no sense. None of it made sense. It was a stupid, just like dumb plot device that doesn't work. It didn't work. It was fun. Didn't work. So yeah, I would have given him a reason to be there by completely like doing everything I just said. And I think it would have made more sense and been a better movie and more engaging and had characters that made sense to be in a freaking movie in the first place. And I would have liked it. That's all.
I'm really glad I made my promise to not fucking defend Tremors while you were on here, because that rant was beautiful and I have things I can say against it, but it was so impassioned that I'm like, nope, Anthony's right.
Thank you. I'll take it.
I actually really like the idea of them being more like a cicada, where they are appearing more frequently because they're about to evolve. That's a pretty cool theory.
Right. I thought that would be cool, because then it would make sense that they disappear. The government's like, okay, we have to get rid of this thing because either it's an alien, we don't know what it is. We don't want people freaking out, because, that's obviously what they would do, is they get rid of it. They get to wipe all the evidence of it and they make us all look crazy. We'd have a Men in Black situation. And then it would just be like, okay, a few years have passed, which now like, okay, yeah, people move on. Maybe some people are lingering with it more than others. And then it comes out again. And it's like, yeah, like, like you said, like the cicada situation, that would be really cool. And it would be fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not defending, but I'll jump off. It is cicadas. It's actually, that's how it's described by the creators, as like they are on a cicada cycle. It's like a 300, 400 year thing, and they pop out every now and then. And there's one thing that I always go to that's from Tremors 4, where you have the Native American character talking about Graboids and his ancestor. My ancestors, talk about spirit beasts that live in these mountains, and blind to all and killing. And they all kind of give him like a side eye when he says it. Yeah. And they're like, oh, that's fucking stupid. What are you fucking talking about? While they're literally dealing with the Graboids at that moment. So I always take that as like, you can create the mythos and all that jazz or whatever, but that doesn't mean people always automatically believe it.
Yeah, I mean, you could say, like Steven said, they could be the origin of dragons to begin with. Like that's very simple. I mean, what Shriekers basically are little, or ass blasters especially, are basically just little dragons.
That's actually, I have a script I wrote that's like these three people in like the Middle East in like the 1200s going to fight a dragon, and it's an ass blaster. It's an
ass blaster. Yeah, that makes sense. Why not? But
again, I'm glad I made the promise not to defend, because that was like I said, watching you for that moment. I was like, oh, so that's what I look like when I'm talking about Tremors on the live stream. That okay, you know what? Good job, buddy. That was you know what? No arguments here. I do have them, but I'm gonna keep them.
Thank you.
in
Thank
the
you.
pocket closest to my heart. Like, Steven, you have something on your tongue, brain.
Oh no. My brain is actually slowly but surely shutting down because
Oh no, I get you. Well, I'll have more fun here and then we'll wrap it up. All right.
this is what, like, and it's not you guys at all. This is like
no.
like, because I'm just like construction buddy, like they turned off.
8:42. I get it. Okay. Steven, what do you think about the name Ass Blaster?
I'm gonna be okay. Which version do you want? Do you want Dr. Tremor Steven, or do you want real Steven?
Honestly, real Steven. Like that.
So
was
when Anthony was like going through all the names of like tremor creatures, I was like, Graboids, so that's cool. Shriekers, that sounds like a creature. Ass Blaster is a name of a creature. Like it felt so out of left field when he told me that. I was like, it seemed like they had a pretty good thing going there for a second. Then some dude's just like, that thing right there is an ass blaster, and well, blast your ass with its whatever it does. I don't know what it does.
That's actually a line. It is Ass Blaster, blast your own ass is a legitimate line in Tremors 3.
Well, I was one of the co-writers of Tremors 3, Dr. Steven speaking right now. And but yeah, Ass Blaster definitely caught me off guard when I was like, what? Graboid, cool. Sounds interesting. Shrieker, okay, it shrieks or whatever. Sounds like a cool little name. And I guess following that trend, it does make sense that Ass Blaster, I guess, could be a name, but it still was such a crude name for a creature. Almost like a demeaning name, too. Yeah. Like, it's just like...
From what I've understood, it's a joke from the people that made the movies.
Got you.
They made them take all of the swearing out of the first movie. Like, they had all of this F-bombs and cussing in the first movie, and they were like, okay, that's really dumb. How about we make a name that, like, every kid gets to say on the playground with impunity, and it's Ass Blaster as a way of just being
that's
like,
pretty great.
You take the swearing out, now you have to call it an Ass Blaster. That's
suck on that.
Fuck you, MPAA. Honestly, I have more questions here, but I can tell you're both tired. So I think what we need to do here is we need to go over to the Twitter expert.
The Twixpert.
Okay.
I have the questions here too. But
do you?
I thought, yeah.
Oh, you can ask him.
Oh.
You can ask him of Steven. I was going to ask him of you, but...
Oh, no. We can do both. Actually, what we'll do, we'll switch on and off. One will answer for real, and then one will not answer for real with Steve. Just right. To really get weird with this.
Hang on.
Yeah.
Got it.
Oh, God.
So Steven, will you Steven, every once in a while we do this segment where we have questions from the colony about a particular thing. Actually, you know what? Let's make this a monster test. That's what makes sense.
Right? That's what I had written down. Hold on. But then that means, Steven, give us that sweet Tremors version monster test song that you played it since the beginning of this show. Just lay it down, baby.
You studied for years about these beautiful beasts in the ground. Got your bachelor's, got your master's and your doctorate, and you tell everyone the truth about the mercury-plated creatures that are gonna kill us all. It's the monster test where Steven knows more than Levi about tremors, cause he's a fucking doctor on a monster test, and he's the fucking best when it comes to tremors. He knows more than you. Yeah. Monster test. Not a sponsor.
You did that song before you even met me. I don't know. How did you know that you like?
So
Levi
I was really into Levi jeans when I wrote that song. So it just
and to be fair, he does know more than Levi jeans about Tremors. Like that's accurate.
And not even the company, but just like the actual product. Like know.
They thought they were like, oh, we know what Kevin Bacon's butt feels like. You don't know. He's like, yeah, but I know Tremors.
Give us
Have
those
you
slabs
smelled
of
it?
bacon.
Have you sniffed his butt? Because I have, because I'm a doctor. And that's what we do.
That's I don't know.
Oh,
I
no.
love when Steven gets those where he's like, why did I said that. That's the thing I said.
I'm just so tired now that things just come out like that. This is what
I
happens.
literally have it written down. Monster Test Tremors edition. Sing that sweet, sexy song, Steven. So it was
Sniffing Kevin Bacon's butt. It's Monster Test.
Okay, so I have to ask the most important question, first and foremost. What made you want to become a Tremors expert? Are you on crack? Steven.
Me?
Yeah.
Well,
I asked this question because I needed to know.
okay. So, well, I'm not. My father is. And some say that, it kind of affects the things that like he used to create me. And
The worms. The worms in his worm.
I feel like,
yeah, right?
Steven, I feel like your existence can't be the poster child for crack. That's not fair. Like you're getting that's kind of what you're tipping your toes in here, because you're like, you have great hair, you're handsome, you're clever, you're a beautiful person, you're wonderful.
You're a great artist. You're a great father and husband. Don't do that. Don't do that.
So okay. So what we're saying is like, don't do drugs, people. But if you have to, what you should do is go back in time and make your parents do the drugs. So then you are like Steven is the thing.
Do better drugs than crack.
So-
How about-
Not a
pick a
sponsor.
cleaner drug, Dad. Fuck. But so what made me pursue my font of tremor knowledge that makes me the most well-informed tremorologist in the entire universe, which is credited because tremors, graboids and shriekers and ass-busters do exist across the galaxy. Anthony, I don't know if you knew this. Well, I just like things that are long and tubular. I'm all about that. I'm about that long tube life, and
Can you name us some of those things? I don't know, like what kind of thing? What do you mean?
Pringles cans,
Okay.
PVC pipe.
PVC
Ooh, okay.
pipe,
Okay, I got you.
PVC
I'm starting
pipe,
to pick
like
up
with,
what you're laying down. You're
like
laying
with
that
a
pipe.
half of
Okay.
a golf ball at the end of it, like when you glue a golf ball into the PVC, just a half of a golf ball, a mushroom cap of a golf ball, if you will.
Okay.
Titleist, given the
It's
brand of ball.
Okay.
We
Okay.
signed up for this, Anthony. We knew what was going to happen.
I do have a question. Okay. Mark wants to know, what's the deal with the monster on the poster looking absolutely nothing like the Graboids in the actual movie? What's going on there? I mean, I didn't answer this, but like, why did they use that?
Well, think about the Tyrannosaurus Rex, Anthony. The Tyrannosaurus Rex was actually a giant chicken, and
Right.
we have this huge reptilian version of the Tyrannosaurus. It's the same with the Graboids, granted, the fossils that we have of Graboids are actually alive and attacking us, but we still are interpreting them wrong. Okay, so this is what they're supposed to look like on the cover. However, this is what the fossil records leave. Even though the fossils are still alive, this is how they used to look. Probably. Maybe.
I'm going to answer Mark's question because I know he was really into it. It's Jaws. That's it. They took the Jaws poster, which is that just coming up or whatever. And then it is a tentacle. They added teeth to it.
Yeah, they added teeth to it. That's what I figured. Because like, I just thought it is a really, like, to his point though, it's a weird choice instead of using the graboid itself to use but I get it because it does look more it's easier to add teeth to that.
It's one of those things, like everybody that made the movie kind of hated it. That's 100% of marketing people.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, we got to sell the movie with the monster and stuff. And there's a guy, Drew something, that did like the Indiana Jones posters.
Oh yeah.
That made this really great one.
Really?
With like Earl and Rhonda and Val, and there's like cracks in the ground, and it sells the tremorsness of it without actually giving the monster away. And I'm always like, I get why they went with the one that they did, but it's like, that would have been cool to have the other one. So
when you said Indiana Jones, I imagined like Earl and Val running and like the graboid behind them like a giant, like Okay, let me see. Producer Sean wants to know Graboid versus Sandworm from Beetlejuice. How does that pan out?
Oof. Sandworm from Beetlejuice takes that battle 9 times out of 10.
It has to, right? I mean, it's enormous.
That thing was like
That's
crazy.
why.
I
Way
mean,
bigger.
and not
And
to
it seemed
mention
to have like a consciousness. Like it was like after you, like, you know, sincerely.
and since it's like the afterworld beast, like that just it seems like it obviously has mythical properties to it. So
I would agree. I was gonna say that. That's why I brought up Shai Halud in that tweet afterwards, because it's like, no, the Graboid's only 30 foot. The sandworm from Beetlejuice, it seems like it's 200 foot at least, with double mouths too. I don't. Much as I love Beetlejuice,
totally. Chris wants to know, what is the reproductive cycle like? What's the standard nest size? Are babies on their own from the start, or do parents care for them? What's the average lifespan, both in the wild and captivity? What's the average size of an adult? And are there different subspecies?
All right, I'll take this one, Steve.
You got this
with
one.
my limited knowledge here, because I saw Chris's question.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm gonna pull it up here just to make sure I have each one.
There you go.
Went through, because they were really good. Hold on. Freaking thirsty bots. Oh my God, you're such a brave person for doing that anonymous thing. That was.
Well, I mean, I posted it and I was like, because I sincerely thought that I was like, I can't believe people are doing this. I feel like I would get terrible things. But then I found myself like hating the fact that I was afraid to do something so silly and simple. You know, I was like, wow.
Most of them were telling you that you were amazing. So fucking get over it, man.
and they wanted to bang you.
You know, I don't like that app sends like fake messages though. It's very odd.
I signed up for it and it sent me a bunch and I was like, oh, that's kind of dumb.
You know, you can kind of, I mean, you can always tell because it says like sent by reply by NGL or whatever it is. Not gonna lie, NGL. But I don't like it. It makes me feel uncomfortable. I'm like, now I have to look and make sure. But some of them I'm like, oh, that's probably from them. Oh, it's not. Like,
I disagreed. It was dumb. All right, so Chris, what is the reproductive cycle like? All right, so they are cicadas. They run on a 300 to 400 year cycle. They start out as the dirt dragons, which that takes about 3 to 4 months to gestate before they get to full graboid size. And then they stay as a larger graboid for another month or so, at which point they metamorphose into shriekers, and the shriekers last about 24 to 36 hours. And then they turn into ass blasters, and ass blasters have one egg in them. They lay that egg and they die like salmon, and that's it. What's the standard nest size? 3 to 4, although depending on conditions, you can get up to 50 to 100 graboids. Like if you that was actually the original Tremors 5, was there was supposed to be a swarm of baby graboids because there were so many that had, like, it was in Australia and so many eggs had gotten laid and there was a fucking swarm of them. And no, the babies, like, they are on their own from the start. There are no parents. In fact, there are no parents of graboids. A baby graboid is the same as a large graboid, which is the same as a shrieker, which is the same as an ass blaster. People think that they evolve and they do that, and they're birthing them. No, it is a butterfly into it's a caterpillar into a butterfly situation. It's not those are not parents. They are the same creature over and over again. Average lifespan, like I said, I would say is about 6 months with you if you do the whole ass blaster cycle. Although captivity, because there is El Blanco is still alive currently, which is an albino graboid that we find in Tremors 3 and then goes on through Tremors the series, and it doesn't metamorphose into shriekers. So then from there, it just continues to live as a graboid. That's where it's domesticated. It's their pet. We were talking about that earlier. And then this is where I say the thing about they're all the same. What's the average size of an adult? Technically, the adult is an ass blaster. If you were to take an adult as the thing that is able to fully reproduce, then that would be the one with the egg laying the egg. So however, I don't know sizes. I'm in construction. I don't do measurements very well. I should be better at it, but I can't. I need my tape measure like all the time for this shit. But I would say about 6 feet for an adult. And then there are different subspecies. There are, I fucking think it's stupid, but there's like the African version. And then actually in mine, because of the colder climate and they live in Iowa, they're a slower but sturdier version of graboids. Like they're fat fuckers because they got to deal with the
we got to deal with the cold
shit. So you need usually you don't get like the 3 or 4 bats, you only get one, and they're slower that way. So that's I didn't mean to take your spot there, Dr. Tremorologist.
No,
Steven.
no. I mean, you've been my understudy for so many years now. It's nice to see you,
Oh,
you know, pop off with your information.
Thank you. I'm learning. I can't believe that this book is wrong. I got to throw this out now.
Like I said,
So Trix wants to know, why didn't they stop after the first one?
Money. I was waiting to answer the money.
That's always
the only fucking reason. I love Tremors. Money. That was it.
Money. I do want to know this, if you know this, which you probably do. Jonathan asked, not sure if it really counts, but I'd like to know who the genius is that decided that the Kevin Bacon-led TV series wasn't picked up after a reportedly awesome pilot episode was filmed that will never see the light of day. Now, is that true? Did they actually film that pilot? And if they did, why isn't it available anywhere? Because I've seen a lot of like unpurchased pilots. So what's going on? Tell us. Yeah, I want to know.
Yes, it's actually it's a great thing that happened recently with the Acme versus Coyote and then Batgirl, because they provide great examples for this. It is a fully finished movie. All of the effects work is everything. All of it's done. They went like, now we'd rather use it as a tax write-off. That's 100%.
Is that really what happened? Wow. So it just doesn't exist anywhere, huh? Like no one has a copy of it?
No, it does exist. And
Okay.
I'm actually I have a DM back and forth with Vincenzo Natali, who directed it.
Do you? I love
like,
Vincenzo Natali.
Yeah. Oh my God, yeah. And I'm always like, hey man, anytime you want to drop it, I can sneakily, we'll do a Deadpool thing here or whatever. And he's like, he's so heartbroken by it that I think it'll just take like another year before he's finally like, I don't fucking care. And you can have like it's out there. Like people are like, oh no, it's not finished or anything. No, it's a full 60 minutes. That's out there, all effects done or whatever. And
no way. That's just,
it's not I actually have the script. I've done a script reading of it on the show. It's not that bad. I think it's pretty good.
That's all. Oh my God.
It's what you would have done with it, Anthony. There's a level of like not to be like, oh, Anthony would have done it, but like there's a fuck you-ness to it. I don't know. I think you'd appreciate it more than you appreciate the other ones.
Probably. I like Vincenzo Natali. Damn it. I really want to see that though. Let me see. So, okay. Alexis asked, how long does it take to be digested by a graboid?
Dr. Steven, I know you have a focus in this area here.
So graboid digestion actually starts in the mouth, similar to humans. The saliva and the tentacles help break down flesh and bone matter within moments. But the stomach, the stomach acids and throughout the course of the worm can actually break down the human form in roughly 6 hours and 22 minutes.
Wow. So we're glad we got Bert out. It was pretty close, man. That would we would have lost old Mitch McCockran's, worst enemy. That was close.
It was very close. Bert was actually out of the stomach at 6 hours, 18 minutes. 4 minutes before his body exploded from the pressure of the acid.
He was able to hold his breath that whole time.
Yes, he's Bert. I mean,
yeah, he's been training. Come on.
Navy SEALs.
Okay, let's do just the last one because I know you like it. Paige asked, why is it always graboids and never giveaways? Levi.
That's good.
It's the nature of life. We have to consume. Do you think that your bacon sandwich loves you back? Your bacon sandwich is giveoiding to you while you are graboiding from it. Mm-hmm. And just Mufasa told us all this. It is the circle of life. We are eaten, and then we are made into the grass that the graboids swim through, and that is the Ouroboros of Tremors. We go round and round in circles, like the ring lights in my eyes. Wow.
I like the way it's beautiful the way you worded that, but I actually like the way Master Yoda said it, and he says, grab or grab not. There is no give. And that's, that spoke to me,
That majesty in motion. I hate Star Wars, but that sounds beautiful.
Well, considering that the Sarlacc pit monster is actually a cousin of the Graboid, I think we should put a little respect on it. But
well, Boba Fett's no Mitch McCockran.
yeah,
so.
or Bert. Boba got digested. Well, not anymore.
Well, this has been absolutely amazing. I thank you both so much for being here after 2 years and all the comments I've left on your videos and everything that you have to say. There is one question that Anthony was asking, actually, that before I'll wrap this up. That's a real question. Anthony was asking about the 2025 thing in Stampede Entertainment. And
yeah.
Secret lawyery stuff is my best answer to that. Is that that petition is there so that way, like, if you had your baby taken away from you, you'd like to know that you can come back to it, and your child, that Atlas has grown up and Atlas is a teenager, but Atlas still loves you. Oh my God, your face when I said that. Like, you just like to know that Atlas is still there and remembers Daddy. Like,
yeah.
I'm sorry. That look is like you want to murder me right now. I'm sorry. But
make you think about people taking my baby away. How dare you? But yeah, it's I hope when they do get the rights to Tremors back that they make a great movie or show or whatever they do. I hope they do something amazing. And I hope it would be fun to see, like, if they're going to have Bert in it, I hope they just wipe the slate clean, do a new thing, and make him the shop owner and make him name Graboids. Yeah. I think that would be cool. I don't want them to be like, hey, let's lean on this actor forever, because like he's amazing. Michael Gross is great, but like he's getting older, and like it would be cool to pass that torch on and let him be a part of it in a fun, meaningful way, but we'll see what they do. I'm excited. I'll watch it no matter what. I'm gonna watch the series probably this weekend. I'll watch all the Tremor stuff, even if I don't love every single bit of it. I do like a lot of it, so it's always fun. So, yeah.
And you got mine to look forward to, so
that's true. I can't wait to watch your movie. It's gonna be so much fun. I can't wait.
I'm super excited. I finally started editing it, like I said. So
and soon. So that's gonna be awesome.
So thank you. But yeah, as far as I know, they want to end it. Like, that's Stampede wants to get their last movie and be like, hey, cool, this was great. Let's finish it on our terms. That's always what I
really
from talking to them. Like, that's their because that's the baby metaphor. When you have something like if you made all 5 issues of Deathless and then DC came in and was like, you're out of Deathless now and that's ours. And then you'd have the moment to like, oh yeah, well, you can make Deathless issue 15. You'd be like, I'm gonna fucking make this the best Deathless ever.
I think that's it's weird though, because like it's like if we stop, like if we made the first 3 issues and then someone else made the rest of the issues, it's like, and then we come back, do we start at issue 4 and pretend that didn't happen? Do we do like a community thing where it's like, oh, that was all the gas leak? Do we pretend that didn't happen because it wasn't our baby? I feel like it's not mine, so I don't care. But like what I would do with Deathless is I would either just let it die, or I would rebirth it, in a new way. Because I feel like Deathless is a different story because it's illustrated. We can always draw something, and the characters don't change ages. Nothing really changes. But as far as like a movie is concerned, it's like you can't just jump back into Tremors 4 suddenly, because so much time has elapsed. So you have to account for that, which I think they can do. I think but it's tough given the world that they created. They created a world in which everyone knows that there are Tremors. They were famous and all this stuff. And it's just like, it's hard to put a cap on that. So like, whatever, I'm gonna watch whatever they do, and I more power to them. I hope they succeed in whatever they're trying to do. So.
Anthony, you have frozen on a
Oh, I'm sorry.
That was like the worst.
You weren't frozen for me.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
You're solid for me.
Oh, again, my internet's shit. So let that be the end all be all. But again, I just want to thank you guys. I had to give that last one for Anthony.
No, of course.
But
we had a great time.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Always, man. Like I said, it's been 2 years running, and I can't wait to comment on every single fucking episode that you drop. I now subscribe to Patreon, which, by the way, subscribe to We Have Issues Patreon. for $20 a month. There are no other tiers. There's only a $20 tier, and you got to go subscribe it. Get out there. Go buy all the comics, all of them, kickstart all the funds and everything. You gotta go buy that for the dollar. Get out there, buy the comics, folks. Go follow Anthony on Twitter. I mean, you can follow Steven too. He's cool, but we need Anthony to get 20,000 Twitter followers so that he can make his Tremors movie. And and Steven along the way, Steven's got great stuff. Prop him up too.
Well, if Anthony has to make a Tremors movie, I'm definitely Mitch McCockran. So
100% going to happen.
This is canon, baby.
This hole is big enough.
There are no atheists in foxholes because they're all.
I can't wait to write Steven as Mitch McCockran now. It's gonna be so ridiculous.
But yeah, thank you guys. I thank everybody that knows. I usually have my own thank yous on my own episode. So if you've been thanked before, you're thanked again. Do you guys got anybody you want to thank or do anything?
Yeah, Alicia and William and they all thank you all so much. No, but of course, thank you to everyone, whoever supports us. If you've made it this far in this show, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'm so sorry for all of the lack of context and all everything that's happened. I feel like I'm the worst at this, and it drives me I'm just I have so much fun, but it also drives me crazy because I feel like, oh my god, it's a conversation. I want everyone to be a part of it, but I know that
you haven't thought of the lore, you stupid bitch.
But
think of the lore.
Thank you for being a part of this and just supporting any of us and showing up for the Talking Tremors podcast every week. You're all amazing, and thank you for showing up for the We Have Issues. If you haven't subscribed to the Talking Tremors, subscribe right now. It would really help out Levi and the channel in general, and then also hop over to We Have Issues podcast, and we would love it if you subscribe to us as well.
And literally start from episode 1. I know there's 100 and there's 375 episodes of We Have Issues, but trust me, guys, you're gonna want to listen to all 375. Every single one builds on the one before. There's all the Easter eggs and they're not Easter eggs, they're ostrich eggs. These big fucking ostrich eggs.
Accurate.
I have an ostrich egg.
And it is. I do. I recommend it to everybody. You hear it enough on my own show, but I will continue to bring you both up whenever I can. I will annoy the fuck out of Caitlin anytime.
I'm so sorry, Caitlin.
They love you, Caitlin. Sorry. But yeah, thank you guys so much.
Yes.
I just want to keep thanking you. Sorry, but we have to end somewhere. Sorry. Again, last words, and we'll do that thing that we said, but we'll start with Anthony's last words, and then Stevie, bring it home.
I got you.
So my last words on Earth. All right, what would I say to people? Be silly, be honest, be kind. Just that's the right way to be. No, okay. My last words. Thank you again. I'm so sorry, Caitlin. I'm so sorry that you can hear us this whole time. I love you, and I apologize for everything. You do have to go watch all of our episodes, though, so you can actually know what Levi's talking about half the time. Because I can tell by this episode that they've not given any context, and we have a whole lot of ridiculous lore and backstory, and it's silly and funny and awkward. And one time, we talked about how I killed a guy with my mind. It gets weird on our show, and it's fun and strange and interesting, and I hope you'll join us. But yeah, I hope everyone can take with a grain of salt my joking hatred of Tremors. I don't hate Tremors. I like Tremors a lot. I like the first one a lot. The second one's okay. The rest of them are just the worst movies. I don't know why. I'm kidding. They're fine. It's
don't
all
tell
fun.
the Tremors expert that. Jesus, man. Wow.
But anyway, I thank you all for tolerating us. Just go follow Steven on Twitter at Stevie Wildcard. He is hilarious and amazing, and he shares his hair and his music and everything. And he is a wonderful person. You should go follow him, and also make sure you're subscribed to our podcast. But thank you.
Thank you, Levi, for having us on this fantastic program. Thank you, Anthony, for being my best friend for forever. Thank you, Tina, for being the best wife, mother, and friend I could ask for.
Also, Tina, thank you for being the best wife that I could ask for as well.
She calls Anthony her boyfriend-in-law. Yes, I love you all. I hope you have a fantastic evening. Be awesome to one another, and a cha-boom! Boom!